that's our first task, I think, as educators, is to go back and think about what happened before our time and what is the legacy of that before we can really understand where they're coming from and then implement those practices and policies in our services today.
Judy, you've mentioned the Quality Improvement Plan. Can you just take us through, in relation to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture and reconciliation and that sense of making a priority, what in your Quality Improvement Plan, what are your goals around the cultural competence side of things, in particular with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture?
I guess one of the things, Jo, that when we reflected on what we were doing well and what we were doing not so well, all our staff identified that we needed to move from the tokenistic to a deeper understanding around the impact of past policy on Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander families and communities, and also our own knowledge around the other cultures that are around us everywhere now in our service. So I guess for us, identifying that first, but then putting it into a quality improvement plan means for us, I guess, it acknowledges that it's going to take some time. It's not something that we can tick off and say we've done this week and we can focus on something else next week. So it's a holistic view, I guess, around the whole notion of cultural competence. And I guess by being in our quality improvement plan, it makes us accountable. It means that we have to report to our board every month about the progress we've made. It will be on our agenda for every staff meeting, so every month we can see, have we made any progress? What else do we need to do? Because I think in the past we had very good intentions, but in a way other things overcame our intentions, if you like, and you know, we all know that happens in the life of a busy children's service. So I think with the Quality Improvement Plan, it gives us an opportunity to really make a difference. It gives us a chance to first of all look at our own knowledge around what happened in the past. It then gives us some idea about what we have to do to think about things perhaps differently than we've thought about before with that new knowledge. And then I think it gives us a framework to work differently with our children and our families, and hopefully see that we'll move from just celebrating the high days and the holidays, that it'll become part of what we do every day, and that's our goal. But I guess I'm saying it's not going to be done by the end of this year. It will be a long process over a long time, because it does take time, and we do have to make time, I think, in our budget to have time to talk, to have professional conversations with each other. I think I have to make sure we've got enough time so our educators can spend time in our local community, researching, finding out where they can find information. And also I think we have to think about it in terms of our philosophy and our policies. So how do we, I guess, embrace what we're trying to do in terms of the changes we're trying to make around cultural competence, and in particular Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander knowledge? How do we ensure that permeates all of our policies? So it's not just something that we do occasionally, it's something part of what we do and who we are into the future. And I think we've got a big responsibility to do that, and that's why for me it's really important that it's documented, it's recorded, and our ongoing learning is recorded and built on.
So you're talking about transformative change, that...
Yes, I guess we are. I wasn't going to use those kind of terms, but yes, and I think that's what it is about. We've got, our educators are all at very different levels of understanding. So, and I think for this to happen, to do it well, it has to be a whole team approach. It's not just my good idea or somebody else's good idea and 2 or 3 staff are committed to it. We have to have a whole staff team committed to it. And that means from the admin person to the cook to everybody that's involved in our service. So it's a big job, but it's something we must do, and we must do well, and we have to start now.
Yeah. You're talking about that connections with the local community and that opportunity for time and resources to actually go in and honour that commitment. Yeah, and that's true. I think sometimes we, with the busyness of early childhood services that we expect so much of people that sometimes we miss the catalyst for change that we can be missing is the respect of resourcing it and creating the time and space for it to happen.
And I think when we think about resources, we often think about buying a new puzzle, but it's actually much deeper than that. Yeah. And so that's our commitment, and you know, we're really keen that change happens in our service.
I think it's important that people understand too that to get away from that thinking about, well, we can do a tick thing, like, because cultural competency is not about a tick, and it's about a long evolving all the time. We constantly evolve.
So we've got the beautiful map here of Australia. As you can see, all the different colours. Okay, for those who can't see, we've got the one over there too. But all these different colours represent all the different tribes, okay? And there's a lot of talk about how many tribes there actually is, but they believe before settlement came here there was well over 600 different dialects and over 300 different Aboriginal tribes. Now there's no exact figure, and I can't give you that to you, but the area that I like to talk about is an interpretation where I come from, the region which is this Bundjalung region, which is that small little area there, okay? But the didgeridoo itself, and what we're talking about, was never played around this region, traditionally. Traditionally, the instrument itself is from this small little pocket up here, up in Arnhem Land, right up here. That's where it's traditionally from. It's been played up there for the last thousands of years. And up there it belongs to the Yolngu people. And up there they call it Yidaki. Can you say Yidaki? Yidaki. Another name they call it in Western Arnhem Land, they call it Mugu. Mugu, yeah. And so up from that region, but they believe through trade, and there's many different stories that the trading routes all through here, that tribes used to trade all artefacts and different utensils and whatnot up through these areas through the hundreds of years, thousands of years, and they believe that's how the didgeridoo made its way down to this region. The reason why they paint the didgeridoo, as you can see, this one's plain, but this one is a traditional one from up that top end, okay? And the reason why they paint the didgeridoo is it represents where the person is from, okay? This is from Western Arnhem Land, okay? And over there they call it Mugu, or you can still use the word Yidaki, okay? A lot of this stuff's on the internet, yeah? You can Google it, and there's really good sites to check out all this information if you're going to do anything on this area.
Cross-cultural relationships when considering cultural competency, is that most important or least important? Most. Past government policies, most important or least important? The impact of colonisation, most important or least important? Your local community, is that most important or least important? Very. Okay. All right, we're going to put that a little bit above there. Right, now let's put that out there. Yes, so we'll put these two possibly as the very... Seems to be that there's a sense that they're the very most... Okay, so if we are looking at this, you know where I would be starting with? I think this is probably one of the best places to start at. For me, absolutely and absolutely. How many of you have been able or are undertaking that relationship with your local community of traditional owners? Yeah. The reason why I said past government policies is because I believe in order for us to move anywhere, we actually need to understand all the policies that are in place and the impact of the policies. So why don't we have Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander families accessing? Why don't we? Why do you think we don't have? Because there's lots of young children out there. Why do you think that people aren't coming to mainstream services?
Because they're fearful of educational services because of the past.
Absolutely.
With the, I guess the White Australia policy and how they were banned from schools.
And this is why I think this is the best place to start, because with past government policies, you understand stolen generation, the policy to remove children wholly and solely based they were born in the Aboriginality did not stop until 1975 was when the government said we will stop that policy. Thank you, Judy, for allowing us access to your service and sharing the wonderful environment that you've created here at Clune and sharing with us the quality improvement plan and where you're at. It's been wonderful. So thank you. So when we're considering Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultural competency, there is a lot of fear around it. I understand that people say that they've had experiences where they've done something they thought was okay and it wasn't okay. But that's just all about learning, so don't be fearful about things. Just start wherever you feel comfortable at, start your learning process. Get in contact with your inclusion support agency or your inclusion and professional support unit. They're actually funded to support you in developing and unpacking some strategies around this, so please feel free to contact them and utilise your networks in your communities and engage in professional conversations with other services around you. Share and network with services that might be on the same journey in the same area as you. It's a beautiful thing to be explored. It's a lovely culture, and the more that you learn about it, the more that you'll be amazed by it. That's a promise.